rubber like Malcolm. Ball a fist in the air to the flashlight. Yeah.
Go to ourtinylittlekitchen.com for all your catering and barbecue needs. From on-site catering to taco bars, burger bars, soul food, jerk, and Mexican cuisine. We even roast pigs, available upon request. Visit ourtinylittlekitchen.com for a quote. Our Tiny Little Kitchen, where our food...
Hey everybody, thanks for watching. So the time has come. We finally got the election results, and Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are president-elect and Madam Vice President-elect. Definitely history has been made in this country, I guess, as it relates to the votes, and we have a woman who is Vice President of the United States and who could quite possibly be the President of the United States. So that is definitely good news and some forward moving and thinking as it relates to the United States, because we've never really seen anything like this before. So now that they're, well, it's not official. It's not official because the votes that really count happen on December 14th. That's when all of the electors meet up in their respective state houses and they cast their votes for who they want to be president and vice president of the United States. And I mentioned this because Joe Biden has, so many millions of votes, and Donald Trump is down by so many millions of votes in the popular vote. Same thing happened in 2016, but we have to be reminded that it's not quite over yet. It's not quite over yet because in 2016, electors flipped on Hillary Clinton. Electors decided to vote for other people besides Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump as well. So we have to be cautiously optimistic, right, about a possible transfer of power. And we have to be ready in case that there is no transfer of power, because Donald Trump can still win this election. Okay. So I know everyone is jubilant. Everyone is dancing in the street. They're doing a cha-cha slide. And I just want everyone to be cautiously optimistic. So, when we say things like this, this is just the truth. This is just the truth. In 2016, a lot of people were shocked. A lot of people were shocked. And this is why I say you have to be cautiously optimistic. So with that being said, Black folks really came through, right, for Joe Biden as it relates to the support. And I say support, we have to really get the language correct, as it relates to voting for president and vice president. We have to get the language correct, because if ultimately we have 538 electors who meet up on December 14th to actually give an official vote, okay, that's not really a vote coming from the people. Okay. So it was over 140 million people, I believe, almost or more, who voted in this election, and it boils down to 538 people who are going to make the ultimate decision. So I would use the term supporters. I would use the term supporters. So people who, it was over 70 million people who supported Joe Biden, and same thing for Donald Trump. They didn't really vote. They support them, because the real voters in a presidential election. Okay, so there's no room for any misunderstanding. I'm not saying that your vote doesn't count on the ticket for other seats, for other races. on your ballot, I'm telling you that your vote for president and vice president is an indirect democracy. And that's something that we have to understand. So everyone's dancing in the streets, but this can very well still go to Donald Trump. And Donald Trump is still optimistic because he's like, hey, look at what happened in 2016. We had electors that flipped. They've had electors that flip, or what they call faithless electors. So just be cautious about that. Now, with that being said, what's next? What's next? I know we are, the country is elated. The country is excited because we have possibly someone else in office, which is cool. Donald Trump brought something to the country that, at least in our lifetime. Okay, so let's not say he's never happened before. It's the worst president in history. Donald Trump was not the worst president in history. Okay, he was not the worst president in history. You look at Woodrow Wilson. I believe it was like 1919, something like that, where he did a viewing of the movie Birth of a Nation. Birth of a Nation. This is a movie about the South rising again. The KKK. The president did that. Woodrow Wilson. He aired the movie at the White House. So let's get our history facts in order. But going back to what I'm saying, Donald Trump, he was and is a piece of work, and so are his supporters. Okay, definitely a piece of work, and it goes on both sides. Democrats too, they definitely a piece of work. But we have to figure out a way to navigate and hold them accountable. I don't know what exactly is in store for Black folks, because a lot of his, you look at his Lift Every Voice plan for Black America, in the language, it talks about minorities and people of color. And that is not Black folks. That's not Black folks. We've been put in that bag and we've been left behind at every turn. So I really don't know what the Biden administration has in store for Black folks, for Black America. I don't know. So what can we do to talk to Congress? Okay. We need to talk to Congress and say, hey, man, listen, ladies and gentlemen, listen, this is what we need to be passed. Right? We can try that. We can try and ask them or tell them, hey, this is what we want. This is what we want. And I'm going to need you to make this happen. Period. You got to work through Congress. Congress calls the shots. Okay. I'm not a big fan of the Biden Harris ticket. Not a big fan at all. But that's my opinion. That's my opinion. It does not mean that I'm a Republican or I'm a Trump supporter. Okay. That doesn't mean that. It just means that, and I've told you in previous episodes why I'm not a big fan or supporter of the Biden Harris ticket. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm not glad that Donald Trump is out of the White House. That's not what that is. That's not what that means. I'm glad he's out. Possibly. Okay. I'm glad he's possibly out of the White House. But we just have to figure out, where do we go from here? Because I'm going to tell you something. This is not a partisan show. Okay. I'm not pro Democrat, pro Republican, anything like that. I am pro equality of life. And I'm interested in the welfare and upward mobility of my people, just like I hope everyone else is. Okay, which we see everyone else is. They're proud of their people, they're proud of their group. This is the type of content that you're going to get here on the Max Clark Show. So on this show, I'm going to be on Biden's ass. I'm going to be on Kamala Harris's ass. Okay. Why? Because they've revealed who they are to us. Okay. Their victory is a victory for a lot of people, but they don't have a plan for black folks. They got a plan for everyone else, but they don't have a plan for black folks. You know, once there's something that names us specifically in the language and not just the title, then maybe we can talk. But there's nothing that has our name in the details. Now black folks came out and showed up in support. And when it, went down to the wire, those are black counties that were being counted. Black folks did it again. Now there's a thing going on in the media where it's, hey, black women did it. No, black women did not do it. Black people did it. Black people support it. You are not going to continue to separate the black family by just saying that the black woman came out to vote. Those days are over. That game is old. That's the banana in the tailpipe. Okay, so let's not really look at that too tough, because it's a game. It's a game. How are you going to sit here and you have almost 150 million people voted, and you're only going to say, well, black women did this. Black women did this. That is that's criminal. That's criminal because it causes division amongst the black family. It causes division amongst the black family. So that's criminal in my eyes. Okay. Black folks came out in numbers and they supported Biden and Harris. Not just a black woman. Black folks, we tend to vote together. Families vote together. Vote together. So let's not get it twisted. And, but a black man and a black woman, don't get caught up in that nonsense, saying that, in that division, because that's what that is about. It's about that division. Okay. Black men support black women to the fullest. So whatever the media is pitching out to you, you can put that to the side because it's not true. It's not true. That's one thing Donald Trump did have correct, and he hit the nail on the head. The media is a piece of work. Now, when Donald Trump said it, he didn't like the media because if they didn't say anything good about him, then they were wrong. But the principle, it's the principle, right? It's the media who will put that spin on it and create the division, help create the division. Okay, so what's next? What's next? What are we going to do as black people over the next 4 years? I mean, we're still dancing in the street. We're still dancing in the street. I would say Monday, party time is over. Party time is over, right? It's Sunday, right? It's Sunday. It is November 8th, Sunday, November 8th. And, we're still out in the streets dancing and things like that. fine, get it out your system because it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. We're not dealing with an administration who just popped up out of the blue. We're dealing with an administration that has had anti-black policies. Anti-black policies. We're dealing with that administration. That's a Biden-Harris administration. If you want to challenge me on that, you can hit me here, or you can hit me in the comments below. We can chat about that. But we're dealing with an administration who has known anti-black policies. Their action speaks louder than their words. Okay, or it's opposite. Their actions is opposite of what's coming out of their mouth. So we have to figure out how we're going to deal with this administration. We're going to have to figure out how we're going to deal with Congress. We're going to have to figure out how we're going to deal with our governors and our mayors and our aldermen and our state reps and our state senators. How are we going to deal with them over the next 4 years? What kind of black think tanks are going to be created in the wake of a Biden-Harris presidency? What type of black what's the word I'm looking for? What type of black lobbyists are we going to have come out of this in the wake of the Biden-Harris administration? What kind of black candidates are going to come out of this? What are we going to do? Because I tell you what, they're not going to, give black folks what's due to us. We know that. If anything, at bare minimum, we need them to enforce the laws that's already on the books at minimum. Okay. We could talk about reparations. We can push that. Not sure how far that's going to go because, hey, they wouldn't even talk to Ice Cube. They told Ice Cube, hey, we'll wait until after. Now, if you want to know, if you want to get an idea of how this is going to, how this administration is going to work, we'll see what the talks look like with Ice Cube, because they told Ice Cube, we'll talk to you after the election. So we'll see what happens if they even talk to Ice Cube. And if they do talk to Ice Cube, when do they talk to Ice Cube? Okay, because he was just, they called the election this week. Now we're going to see how long does it take for them to reach out to Ice Cube and talk about his contract with Black America. Let's see what that's about. So, with that said, hey, everything that I just said, think about that. Let that marinate. I would highly suggest that we take those things into consideration that I just spoke on. I would highly suggest that we start having conversations amongst each other, small little groups. You can connect on Zoom or Google Meet or whatever platform that you want to use. Start talking about building our communities. Start talking about holding these people accountable who we are paying out of our tax dollars. Start talking about how we're going to hold them accountable. Okay. It's about a quality of life. It's about a quality of life. And I'm not here to convert anyone. I can't convince you that Black people are in a state of 911. I'm not here to convince you of that. If you don't see that, then you're not ready to be part of the team. If through our work you come to realize that something is wrong, then come jump on the team. But I don't have enough time to convert people and debate people about the truth. So it's time for like-minded Black folks to come together, because all Black folks ain't ready and all skin folk ain't kinfolk. right? So like-minded Black people need to come together and figure out how we are going to navigate through the next 4 years. Find out what victories we can pull out, and we can see if we want to give our support still in 2024. In 2024. And let me tell you something, Black people. If you do not, you already say, well, hey, I don't support Republicans. I'm not a Republican. Saying it with pride. But when it comes to saying, hey, I'm not supporting this agenda that the Democrats are pushing forward, we're afraid to say it. And when we do say it, we're being told that we're Republicans or that we're Trump supporters. Say it with pride if you don't agree with what's coming out of the White House, the new White House. Say it. Say it. And if it doesn't work for you, then you don't have to vote that way. You don't have to vote that way. Okay? This whole lesser of the two evils thing, it's always been the lesser of the two evils, especially as it relates to Black folks. It's always the lesser of the two evils. So it's like you go and you sit down at a restaurant and you look at the menu, you open it up, and it's got pig feet and sides on this menu, and it's got chitlins and sides on this menu. I don't eat either one of those. So why are you going to tell me to order something anyway? Well, chitlins stink, but pig feet don't. So get pig feet. I don't like either of them. So why do I have to choose? Why do I have to choose? Okay. We have to stop being afraid to say, hey, you know what? This Democratic liberal program is not working for us. It works for everyone else, but it doesn't work for us. Okay. We have to get our house in order. Okay. If you want the rest of the country to be okay, if you want, because if you haven't noticed, as Black people go, so goes the country. This is the truth. I'm not giving you my opinion. That's the truth. And sometimes we just have to be a little selfish and say, hey, you know what? I'm sorry, but what's going on in this particular area, my house is on fire. I need to put my fire out first, and then I can come back and help you. Okay? Just like they say on the plane, something happened, you gotta put your mask on, because without your mask, you can't help anybody else. So, Black folks, put your mask on first. Get your stuff in order. Get your house in order. Put the fire out in your house, and then we can help others. Because what happened was the Black support in this election came through big. And everyone who don't classify themselves as Black and all groups know that we came through, and they know that they're going to benefit from that. But no one is saying, how are we going to look at Black folks and say, hey, man, you know what? Thank you. Thank you for coming through again. Because now because you came through, Black people, my agenda is going to come to fruition. Right? My agenda is going to come to fruition. That goes for everybody in this country who don't classify themselves as Black. Your agenda is going to come to fruition. And I'm not mad at your agenda. Okay? Everyone should have an agenda. But when will ours come to fruition? Just keep that in mind. Love somebody, but more importantly, love yourself. It ain't over yet. December 14th is when the electors meet. and we get an official voter count for who will be the next president of the United States. And those 538 people will make the call. Peace.